Good morning. Welcome to Heart and Soul Center of Light. My name is Ron Marshall, and I'm a licensed practitioner and founding member at Heart and Soul. And I'm honored to be facilitating our meditation experience this morning. This morning, we're taking the opportunity to immerse ourselves in stillness so that we may connect with the knower within, so that it may be our guide during this time of change. So wherever you are, I invite you to make yourself comfortable so that you may be open to divine guidance. Know that right where you are, God is, and therefore it is a safe and sacred space. So if you're willing, I invite you to gently allow your eyes to close and take this opportunity to relax and let go of all that has happened up until this moment. Join me in taking a deep, conscious breath. Breathe in and release with a sigh. Now give thanks for your breath as you gently allow it to return to its natural rhythm. Take a moment to notice the path that your breath takes through your body. While the path our breath takes, like each of us, is unique, every breath is part of the one breath that is breathing us all. Let your breath be an ever-present reminder of your oneness with Spirit and its ever-availability as a guide and source of inner peace, love, and clarity, regardless of outer circumstances. As we enter the stillness, remember to focus on your breath, and I offer this affirmation as our guide. I have been that I have been. I am that I am. And I will be what I will be simultaneously. I have been that I have been. I am that I am. And I will be what I will be simultaneously. I now invite you to return your awareness to the space that you're in. To do so, you might focus on your feet and notice and feel the support of the floor beneath. You might gently rub your palms together. Begin to expand your awareness and feel the space around you. When you're ready, I invite you to gently allow your eyes to open. This completes our meditation experience. And so it is. Thank you, safe and sacred container of love for our service this morning. We have a wonderful opportunity during these times to spend more time being still and renewing our relationship with the One. And I invite you to do so whenever, wherever, and however possible. It has been a pleasure and an honor to facilitate this morning's meditation. Thank you.
Good morning, Heart and Soul. Welcome to our virtual Sunday service. My name is Sonia Russell. I am a licensed practitioner and proud founding member here at Heart and Soul, and it is my great pleasure to welcome you to our Sunday service on this beautiful Sunday, March 28th. I'm here to let you know how you can be more fully engaged at Heart and Soul, starting by making sure you know that our theme for 2021 is Adventures in Faith, Rise Up. Our daily read for 2021 is Emmett Fox's Around the Year with Emmett Fox. We're inviting you to stay connected in all the ways there are to stay connected, family, including our website and Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and all the ways in which you podcast. We're inviting you to give at any time, and we will have an opportunity to give in community. But for giving any time, you can visit our website, heartsoulcenter.org/give, and you can text to give. You can also make sure that you have all of the details of any events we have coming up or anything that's going on in community in your inbox by visiting heartsoulcenter.org/sign up. And family, we continue to allow ourselves to be deeply steeped in our community affirmation. Thank you for everything. I have no complaint whatsoever. I want to make sure that you know that tomorrow, March 29th, we will not have our usual Around the Year with Emmett Fox gathering, but the session will resume again next week. I also want to let you know that there is no Imagining Justice experience on this coming Wednesday, March 31st, but Imagining Justice will also resume the week of April 7th. This coming Saturday, however, our Prosperity Plus 3 Living Full Spectrum Wealth begins. You want to register at heartsoulcenter.org/pp3-2021. The class will absolutely transform your life. This is one of my favorite classes, and you want to make sure to get in there. It is an 8-week class. The first class on the 3rd is an introductory session. You have to get in there to make sure you have all the details that you need in order to attend the class. There's no actual registration fee for the class, but there are online materials that you must have in order to participate. You want to get registered so that you have all those materials beforehand. If you are looking to break through to the next level of success in all areas of your life, this class is for you. It is being facilitated by our beloved Janice Richmond, who is a practitioner here at Heart and Soul, as well as one of Mary Morrissey's coaches. So this class is sure to be fantastic. We want to make sure that you know, family, that prayer works. We believe in it. We're praying all the time for and with you. Group prayer happens 10 minutes after the conclusion of our service on Sundays, as well as on Wednesdays at 7 a.m. Pacific time. We also have a new prayer request line. You can call 510-607-7747. You can leave a message and a prayer facilitator will return your call. And we have a prayer request email address, prayerandcare@heartsoulcenter.org. The point is to get in touch for prayer so that your life can be absolutely transformed. Additionally, we have our Power of Prayer podcast. I told you, y'all, we believe in prayer. You can have prayer 24/7. Anchor.fm/Heart Soul Center is where you get started. It's on all the ways in which you podcast. Otherwise, this is your opportunity to have prayer in your pocket. True Vine Ministries continues to offer free COVID-19 vaccines. You have to call and schedule for an appointment, so you want to make sure that you call them. They're doing the vaccine through next weekend. Lots of things are changing fast, so make sure you check online for details. They may also still be available at the West Oakland Senior Center. So the point is that if you're interested in getting a free COVID-19 vaccine, make sure that you're looking around. I want to make sure that you know that next Sunday, yes, next Sunday, family, is Easter. So we're inviting you to join us for our Easter celebration service, Sunday, April 4th at 10 a.m. Our beloved Reverend Andriette will be bringing our service on Sunday. And this is our vision, family. And we like to make sure that we allow ourselves to be grounded in that vision. And so we recite it together. We are a loving and compassionate, world-class teaching and empowerment ministry. Through a consciousness of universal God presence, we release all resistance, separation, and fear. We claim our personal liberation and accept the eternal availability of joy, love, and abundance. Through our intention to be love and spread joy, we engender reflections of the same and more in others. Our ministry is a gift to the world, which expands through our practice and dedication. We welcome all people, and together we make a quantifiable, positive difference on the planet. And so it is. And so, family, I invite you to simply find your breath. Allow yourself to be fully present in this moment. Letting go of all that happened before this moment and giving no concern with all that must happen later. Simply be here now. As we are touching and agreeing, as we are remembering to remember, as we are knowing the truth that there is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now, and that is the life of every single person on this planet. 7 billion ways to know God. 7 billion ways to know love and joy and peace. The goodness of the infinite is present in every person, place, and situation. Without exception and regardless of appearances, God is ever present. I know this, I trust it, I rest, rule, and abide in it. God is, we are, and all is exceedingly well. And so it is from this place of knowing, this place of trusting, this place of deep abiding faith that I, Sonia, speak my word on behalf of my beloved Heart and Soul Center of Light community, giving thanks in advance for our heart's desires being made manifest. Knowing that we are moving through the world with open minds, remembering who we are and whose we are. Unapologetically moving through the world vulnerably and powerfully and confidently, knowing that we are born of God, in God and through God. And so I know that we are experiencing relationships where we know trust, where we feel safe, where we feel heard, that we are experiencing divine health and wellness, where our bodies are strong and flexible, where we know perfect assimilation, circulation, and elimination. I know that today and every day our opportunity is to live in the beauty of our abundance, that we have all that we need, and that we are prosperous with money to spend, save, and share. I know that God is ever present in our lives, ever available, animating us, moving us closer to us than our very breath. Our opportunity, family, is to know, is to remember, is to trust. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful that today and every day we have the opportunity to stand in our oneness with God, in our oneness with each other, in our knowing of good. I'm giving thanks for Heart and Soul Center of Light and all that it endeavors to be on the planet, the permission it gives us to be our most powerful selves. I am grateful for this day and every day, for the hands and hearts that support this ministry. It takes a village to run a village. I am grateful, family, for the good sense to be grateful this day, and for the family, the love, the community, the heart that goes into this ministry. I am grateful for our beloved Reverend Andriette. I am grateful. God is good and all is well. And it is my perfect gratitude that I release this word into the law, knowing that it is done, expecting and accepting it as so now and forever. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Angelo Allen, a staff minister here at Heart and Soul Center of Light, and it is my pleasure and privilege today to introduce our guest speaker, Reverend Twana Malone. Reverend Twana Malone is an ordained minister, teacher, counselor, and life coach who has been a student of New Thought for more than 20 years. Reverend Twana has worked in hospice as a chaplain for 10 years. Her heart's desire is to support individuals in discovering the life their soul is seeking. Born in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, she's traveled the world with her family as a child, while her parents served in the United States Army. As an adult, Reverend Tuana herself served in the United States Air Force for 7 years. She was introduced to New Thought in 1997 and joined the Center of Peace in Philadelphia in 2001. She received her practitioner's license in 2006, and she now serves as the Center of Peace Senior Minister and Spiritual Director. So here's what's going to happen next. To prepare our hearts to receive Reverend Tuana's talk, we will first hear a selection from today's musical inspiration, and immediately following that song, the next voice you hear will be our sister and minister, Reverend Twana Malone.
Heart and Soul Center of Light. I'm Reverend Twana Malone, the Senior Minister at the Center of Peace in Philadelphia. And I'm delighted to be here with you all this morning. I have a great deal of respect and admiration for Reverend Andriette, and I'm just honored anytime she extends an invitation to be here with you all. So as I said, I'm delighted to be here this morning. She shared with me that you all are continuing to work with the theme of adventures in faith. And in light of it being Women's History Month, she's given us the invitation to rise up. And what an invitation it is. I don't know about you, but it started me thinking about the areas in my life where I need to rise up. Perhaps the areas in my life where I need to speak up. Perhaps the areas in my life where I need to stand up for something. The areas in my life where I need to be willing to show up in my fullest and greatest expression of unique individualization, expression of God in me. Rise up, she tells us. So the title of my talk this morning is Rise Up and Act Like You Got Some Faith. Rise up and act like you got some faith. I have an affirmation for us to work with this morning, and it is, the wisdom of the infinite is available to me. It is within me, guiding me. I see a new day dawning. I anticipate this day to be a good day and tomorrow to be even better. Yeah, let me give it to you one more time. The wisdom of the infinite is available to me. It is within me, guiding me. I see a new day dawning. I anticipate this day to be a good one and tomorrow to be even better. Yes. So on this Palm Sunday, the start of Holy Week, is where we find Jesus sending two of his apostles out to find a donkey for him to ride into Jerusalem on. It is here in the story where we see Jesus practicing what he's been preaching, taking control of his thoughts, dropping the lesser for the greater, anticipating goodness as he enters into what he knows is going to be the great betrayal, which leads to his crucifixion and his transformation, his resurrection. Also, today is the beginning of the Passover holiday, where our Jewish brothers and sisters come together to commemorate the biblical story of the Exodus, in which Jewish slaves overthrow the Egyptian Pharaoh and are led by Moses through the desert to the promised land. You might remember the story. And again, we find a theme of transformation in this story, in this myth, a theme of self-transformation. The movement from slavery to freedom, from exile to redemption. In both of these accounts, the people and even Jesus himself comes to a point where they realize that something has got to change. Something's got to change. I mean, come on, they were in the desert, in the wilderness, in the forest for 40 years. 40 years because they knew something had to change. And Jesus himself, he knew what was about to happen. And he knew that there wasn't anything that he could do about it. And there wasn't anything that he wanted to do about it. Remember the prayer he had prior to Holy Week, where he said, essentially, if it is thy will. He knew that in order for his apostles and his disciples to act like they got some faith, that things had to change. In spite of the suffering that he would endure, he knew things had to change. So thinking about Passover and thinking about Palm Sunday, it got me thinking about the women in the Bible, the women who were rebels, the women who didn't ask for permission, the women who broke barriers and pushed the boundaries, the women who disobeyed orders, knowing that they themselves could be killed for disobeying orders, and did it anyway. I'm thinking about Moses' sister Miriam and Moses' mother who risked it all, and the Egyptian Pharaoh's daughter who risked it all. Because had they not, there would be no Moses. There would be no Exodus. I'm thinking about other women in the Bible. I'm thinking about the Canaanite woman who desperately pleads for Jesus to heal her daughter, where she is denied several times, told to leave. This woman who was not disturbed by the opinions of others. This woman who wasn't disturbed by the name calling. The same woman, this woman is who pushed the boundaries of Jesus himself, reminding him that his work was with whomever was before him, helping him to expand his own ministry. I've heard her described as an exception for exceptional faith. Rise up. I'm thinking about the unnamed woman who a few days before Palm Sunday had come to anoint Jesus with her rare and expensive oil. The woman who had come willing to release and let go of something so precious and rare to prepare Jesus for his own transformation. I'm thinking about the women who were tough-minded and tender-hearted, as Dr. Martin Luther King might call them. These women who acted in a way that demonstrated their faith. These women who knew that this wisdom was within them, that guided them, where they expected something good to happen and occur. You see, these women were willing to re-examine and to re-evaluate their thoughts because they understood that something had to change. Something had to change. The moment had come and something had to change. Tough-minded and tender-hearted. I want to read you just a little bit from Strength to Love by Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, where he talks about being tough-minded. He says that the need for a tough mind is characterized by incisive thinking, realistic appraisal, and decisive judgment. The tough mind is sharp and penetrating, breaking through the crust of legends and myths and sifting the true from the false. The tough-minded individual is astute and discerning, She has a strong, austere quality that makes for firmness of purpose and solidness of commitment. Who doubts that this toughness of mine is one of woman's greatest needs? Rarely do we find women who willingly engage in hard, solid thinking. There is almost a universal quest for easy answers and half-baked solutions. He says, nothing pains some people more than having to think. Tough-minded and tender-hearted. And yet, these women of the Bible were willing to re-examine and willing to re-evaluate their thoughts. See, we have to stop going for the easy answers and the half-baked truths if we're going to rise up. Ernest Holmes says that the God within knows what to do and what to say without having to reason and without reference to external facts or existing conditions. That you and I, we know what to do and we know what to say without reference to external facts or existing conditions, without having to reason, he says. And Ralph Waldo Emerson says that what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. You know, I grew up in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and I want to highlight another woman this morning. I want to highlight Annie Gray Malone. And you might not have heard of her, but she's my grandmother. And I come from a small town where everybody lived on the same plot of land, you know, 200 or 300 feet away. Everybody had their homes, and maybe another 700 feet down the lot of land is where the family's church was built, and it's still there today in operation. And she was the ultimate church goer, the church woman, the church mother. And so my grandmother would, every time I would come back home to Tennessee, because my family was in the military and then I served in the military, but every time I'd come back home to Tennessee, my grandmother would have the same affirmation. She was consistent and she was persistent. She knew, she had a stance of anticipating something better today, that something good would happen today, and that tomorrow would be even better. And so she'd always have 5 things for me every time I'd get home. First off, she would say that, well, you know, Mama wants to see you when you get home. And after I'd make my way to her house to spend some time with her, the first thing she would ask is, are you hungry? Do you want something to eat? Mama can make you a bologna and cheese sandwich. If you didn't catch it, that was a bologna and cheese sandwich. If you're hungry, I can make you something to eat. And here's the third thing she would always ask. She would ask, have you found yourself a church home? Have you found yourself a good church home? Find yourself a good church home. And then she would say that Mama loves you. Mama loves all y'all. And the last thing she would say is that Mama is praying for you. Mama prays for you every day and every night. You see, She understood that finding a church home, finding God would give me the opportunity to discover what lies within me. She reminded me in her affirmation that with love and with God, that I would have the right combination to begin to anticipate and expect good today and to anticipate something even better tomorrow. She would give me the ingredients to consider when I came to those points and those places in my life where I would declare that something has got to change, that it's time that we rise up to do the work to discover who we really and truly are, which means then that we've got to be willing to end some things, to let some things go. Ian LaVon Zant, in her book, Acts of Faith, she has 12 commitments of faith that she speaks about. And number 7 on the list is refraining from thinking, saying, and doing anything that does not bring you peace and joy. Refraining from thinking, saying, and doing anything that does not bring you peace and joy. What a call. That seems like the same call to rise up. She says, because spiritually, you will be held accountable for what you do. And why you do it doesn't matter. It's time to rise up. It's time that we end our outward struggles and our inward hurts. It's time we consider to stop redefining our outward struggles and our inward hurts, and that we open ourselves up to, instead of redefining them, that we open ourselves up to ending them. It's time to rise up, because ending some things is leading us to our transformation. See, the call to rise up is greater than redefining. The call to rise up pushes us face to face with the thing that has got to change in our life. So this morning, I've just come to say that may we all benefit from the women of the Bible, to be willing to risk it all, to be willing to show up as our authentic self, to change things that need to be changed, to not ask for permission to change things, but to be willing to give the best of ourselves for our own transformation and for the transformation of others. May we all benefit from the spirit of Annie Gray Malone, to discover the God within us through love, so that when we meet those moments in our life where we declare that something's got to change, that we be willing to be moved into our moments of transformation. It's time that we end the self-judgment. It's time that we end the self-criticism. It's time that we end the self-doubt. It's time that we tear down the barriers of our own making. It's time that we push the boundaries in our own life. That these barriers and these boundaries that sometimes keeps us from having an intimate and sacred union and relationship with the divine power and presence within us. It's time that we end some things so that we can begin to experience and discover the heaven that is within us. These women of the Bible and my grandmother, may we all live in their spirit and stand together and affirm the wisdom of the infinite is available to me. It is within me, guiding me. I see a new day dawning. I anticipate this day to be a good day and tomorrow to be even better. The wisdom of the infinite is available to me. It is within me, guiding me. I see a new day dawning in my life. I anticipate this day to be a good one and tomorrow to be even better. Adventures in faith. Rise up. Be willing to risk it all and act like you got some faith.
When you're middle-aged, gifted and black, it's where it's at. That's where it's at. It's where it's at. It's where it's at. It's where it's at. It's where it's at.
In today's world especially, it's not easy to keep a center going. You know, often as a participant or a congregant or someone who's part of the community, we're not really thinking maybe about the electric bill and about all the many things it takes to keep a community together and growing. Some of you know that I am the founder of the Prosperity Plus programs 1, 2, and 3, and I know that your center has offered these programs to you. I'm a deep believer in tithing. And we all have giving patterns. Many of us give actually only emotionally. We give when we feel like we have a little extra. And then there's another kind of giving that's a regular repeated giving that comes with a percentage to it. And if it's not 10%, it's 5% or it's 6%, but it comes out of a decision to have circulation in your life. Planting in a beautiful place like the Heart and Soul Center of Light for the growth of a community that you has nurtured you, can nurture you further, and more than that, can spread this wonderful message to a world that is deeply hungering, even if they don't know yet that they're hungering for it. So I invite us on this day to lean in and make a commitment for percentage giving over the next year. And then turn around every 3 months and take a look at what's happening in your life. Something happens when you're a regular giver. And each month, as you're receiving your income, a portion of it goes to support. It changes the way you feel about yourself. It changes your level of expectation of good in your life. It changes your sense of worthiness and your connection with the very source of your life.
Good morning, heart and soul. This is Reverend Angelo. Thank you, Tammy Hall, for that amazing rendition of Young, Gifted, and Black. And thank you, Mary Morrissey, for reminding us that there's something for us to do here. It's much like Reverend Tuana has said, we've got to act like we've got some faith. And giving is a real step forward in faith. There are many ways in which you can graciously give to Heart and Soul Center of Light. You can mail a check to 5627 Telegraph Avenue, number 405, Oakland, California, 94609. Or you can visit our website at heartsoulcenter.org/give. And while you're there, you might consider setting up your giving to be recurrent. Or you can also give on a one-time gift basis if you choose. Last but not least, you can simply text the word give to 510 500 5849. However you give is absolutely right and perfect. And it's also important that we maintain the right consciousness for our giving. Blessing our good before it is even given establishes an intention for the good that our gift will do in the world. So wherever you happen to be in the world right now, I invite you to take your gift in hand and perhaps place it over your heart, or otherwise just place your hand over your heart. And let us say our blessing together. I bless this gift as healing energy and send it into the divine flow of all good. Infinite prosperity circulates through me, through my church, and throughout the world because I know God as source, and so it is.
Thank you, Revelo. Family, this is my opportunity to remind you again how to be engaged at Heart and Soul Center of Light. And starting with our opportunity for vaccines with True Vine Ministries. You have to make an appointment. Just make sure if you are interested in getting a vaccine, that you make sure you are searching for the best option available. There are options available. There may also be something at West Oakland Senior Center. The point is to look out, family. I want to let you know that on Mondays, that's tomorrow, we will not have our usual Around the Year with Emmett Fox gathering. We will, however, resume the following week. And there is no Imagining Justice experience on this coming Wednesday, the 31st. Imagining Justice will resume on Wednesday, April 7th. We love Tammy Lynn Hall, y'all, and y'all see why we love Tammy Lynn Hall. Besides the fact that she is a phenomenal human being on this planet, we want to make sure that we are supporting her. She is on Facebook Live on Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific time, and we want to make sure that we spend time with her and that we tip generously. Prosperity Plus 3, Living Full Spectrum Wealth. The class begins this coming Saturday, April 3rd. Register at heartsoulcenter.org/pp3-2021. There is no registration fee for this class, but there are online materials or a physical kit that is required. So you do have to have a physical kit or you do have to have materials for the class in order to be registered for the class. Practitioner Janice Richmond, who is also a certified coach with Mary Morrissey, is our facilitator. We are creating the life that we truly love living, and this class will support you in doing that. Make sure that you sign up as soon as possible. Because we recently moved, we invite you to consider a gift at a gift card from any of these familiar retailers. There are still a few things on our Amazon wish list, heartsoulcenter.org/wish list. We are continuing to support Marcus Books, the oldest independently owned Black bookstore in the country. And we are continuing to support Kingston 11 and their delicious Jamaican cuisine at what's being called the town's gathering space. We want to make sure that we are supporting those folks in our community, family. Our Heart and Soul Youth and Family 2 programs, The Pulse for ages 13 to 18, meets via Zoom at 11:30 Pacific time on Sundays. Have your teens send an email to the Pulse at heartsoulcenter.org to be a part of it. Our Youth and Family Village is currently featuring some videos for highlighting Women's History Month. Your young person can have access to those videos by visiting heartsoulcenter.org/watchyfv. We're continuing to let you know that prayer works. I know it works in my life. I'm sure it will work in your life. 10 minutes of following the conclusion of this service, we have prayer. We also have it on Wednesdays at 7 a.m. Pacific time. And we have a new prayer request line. We invite you into leaving a message and having a prayer facilitator return your call. Additionally, you can email your prayer request to prayerandcare@heartsoulcenter.org. Reverend Andriette's pop vlog, Point of Power, can be found anytime by visiting our YouTube page. And we have a new Power of Prayer pop for such a time as this, a podcast available in all the ways that you podcast. Anchor.fm/heartsoulcenter is how you get started if you don't podcast. Otherwise, we're inviting you to have 24/7 prayer in your pocket. I want to make sure that you know that next Sunday, bless my heart, next Sunday, April 4th is Easter. We're inviting you to join us for our Easter celebration service. Our beloved Reverend Andriette will be here back with us on Sunday, and we are grateful, family, for your presence. We're grateful for all of the folks who are here, either here nearby in the Bay Area that potentially would want to be with us in person, or all of the folks who are joining us from around the world, including Detroit, Michigan, Las Vegas, Aurora, Colorado, Spartanburg, South Carolina, Jackson, Mississippi, San Jose, Costa Rica, Waterford, Connecticut, Clovis, California, Jaco, Costa Rica, Maui, Hawaii, Salida, California, Capitola, California, the greater Bay Area. We are grateful for you. We are grateful for our beloved Reverend Andriette, and grateful for the community for understanding the great opportunity it is for her to rest and rejuvenate, and know that she will be with us for our Easter service next week. And family, I am grateful to have been of service to you, and give my great thanks to Reverend Twana for praying us home.
Won't you join me this morning in prayer? Let us all come together and turn within this morning. realizing and recognizing that truly, 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 there is only one life, one power, and one presence, that it is wisdom itself, that it is everywhere, expressing in all things and through all things, right here and right now, everywhere equally present. This wisdom in my life and in your life. It is my life and it is your life, guiding me and guiding you. Let us know that we are forever united in it, one with it in its myriad ways. So I affirm for you and I affirm for me this morning that we rise up to the moment, that we rise up to the occasions in our lives that's calling forth something to be changed so that we may open up a way for this wisdom to guide us in it, where we are anticipating and seeing a new day dawning, anticipating good, ready to risk it all, not waiting on permission from anybody. This day, let us be moved by the spirit of the divine power and presence of God. Let us be moved by the spirit of these women of the Bible. Let us be moved by the spirit of my grandmother, where we be willing to discover something more about ourselves, not being deterred or disturbed by anything that we see or anything that we hear. But rather this morning, my prayer is that we all be moved by the Holy Spirit within us, leading us to our transformation, leading us to discover the something more about ourselves, leading us to discover the greater that is within us, expecting transformation to happen and occur in my life and in the life of others. I know that nothing gets in the way. I'm so glad about it as I rejoice and give thanks in this moment for what's new in our life, for the new opportunities, for the new possibilities, for the new day that's dawning. I give thanks for knowing that something even better will happen tomorrow. And so we just simply gather these words in, taking them all in, embodying and embracing these words. So until we feel within ourselves that it is done just as it is a divine idea in the mind of God, and it must be done. So be it. Let us all just anchor together then by saying, and so